We're joined right now by two veterans, Republican Congressman Jack Bergman of Michigan, running for re-election. He served more than 40 years in the Marine Corps. Thank you, sir, for your service. And Dr. Kermit Jones, a Navy veteran running for Congress in California. Hello to both of you. Congressman Bergman, I want to start with you. Nearly half of Americans say they like candidates who served in the military. Do you think there's a reason the number of veterans in Congress has significantly declined over the last 50 years?
Well, I think very simply that we've lived in a country where we've enjoyed the blessings of freedom for a long time because of those who served. And, we've got 5 kids, 10 grandkids, and only one, our current number 3 grandson, is now at West Point. But they've been blessed not to have to serve. They've been doing other things as good citizens. So they've been focused on other things. The country hasn't needed that high level of service.
Dr. Jones, according to Pew Research Center, just 36% of Americans who identify as Democrats or say they lean Democrat say they like political leaders with military experience. Why do you think it's important for Americans to send more military veterans to Congress?
Thank you, Adrienne, and thank you, Congressman, sir. I think we flew the same airframe when I was at MAG 39 at Camp Pendleton. Adrienne, I think it comes down to this. I mean, I joined the military after our attack, after the attack on 9/11, and we saw that happen on live TV. And it's that same sense of service that made me decide to join or try to run for Congress. And I think that same sense of service is what's driving a lot of veterans to try to run and trying to tackle some of these big issues and problems that we have. I mean, people in my district are devastated by the cost of inflation, the wildfires in particular. And I think veterans have this sense of just putting the mission first, putting our differences aside and getting the job done. And here, getting the job done really is making sure that we keep our communities safe, that we tackle these big problems together. And as the congressman said, focusing on those things that I think make us stronger and the blessings of our country. And that's exactly what I would do if I had the privilege of serving again. I think that's what a lot of people are looking for.
Is there really 1 degree of separation between you two flying the same plane?
Well, let's put it this. I probably had less digitized things to look at than the doctor did. It was pretty much steam gauges back in the late 60s, early 70s when I was flying.
That's amazing. Well, Congressman Bergman, you are a member of the House Armed Services Committee and the House Committee on Veterans Affairs. What would it mean for our current service members as well as our veterans, for more of our lawmakers to actually have military experience?
Well, I think when you think about the age-eligible population right now in the country, male, female, 18 to 24, roughly 72% is ineligible for military service, largely because of obesity. To be quite honest, there's a few other issues, medical, but the point is that 18 to 24-year-old time frame for all men and women is very formative. And I can tell you for a fact, myself and my buddies who served together at that time frame, it built us into the men and women that we became because of 2 things. Number 1, serving our country. And number 2, understanding life is not about us. It's about the mission, and it's about the members in our unit.
That's a beautiful sentiment and something that we need to teach our children more focused than ever to be about the mission. Dr. Jones, what more can be done to increase veteran representation in Congress?
I think the biggest thing that can be done is just encouraging veterans that have that record of service to put their hat in the ring. I mean, when I was in Iraq, unfortunately, we saw what a country looks like when it goes through civil war. And I think veterans have that distinct honor and privilege of having raised their right hand and said that we're going to protect the Constitution no matter what, that we don't serve a particular political party. We put our differences aside. It doesn't matter whether someone's a Democrat or Republican. So I think there are a lot of veterans out there that are looking for that next mission. They're looking for that next thing that, as the congressman said, they can devote themselves to. And they have a track record, a long track record of service. I mean, I served with some veterans that, may have had some issues with obesity or may have been out of standards initially, but they focused and they pushed and then they got in. And I think for veterans, as long as they know that they're going to have a team, members of Congress like the one that's with us today, that are going to focus on the things that are bigger than individuals, but be part of something bigger than ourselves. That is what I think will encourage more of us to hopefully run and then I think actually serve. I think the American people are looking for that type of leadership oriented service in Congress.
Absolutely. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.